Hello, guys. Welcome to another DW Live show. DW Live number 18. Wow. Hello,
18.
Dom.
Good afternoon,
18.
everybody.
How are you
How
all?
are we all?
Yes, we know we're in the middle of breaking news with the government announcing some big announcements. Isn't that right, Dom?
Yeah, we literally just as we were getting going on the show for the day, we were talking to Mia, who is waiting backstage for us to bring her in, and discovered that Boris was live on BBC News, talking about the further relaxing of the rules on our current lockdown state. And it makes for quite interesting reading. Some of it positive for the industry, some of it negative, and I think it still leaves quite a lot of questions unanswered. For those that haven't already seen it, I'm just going to cut over to a live view of the BBC website. So what we're looking at here is, let's bring this up. So we've got a reminder of what can reopen in England from the 4th of July. This a week on Saturday. So for this industry is hotels, bed and breakfast, holiday homes, campsites, caravan parks, boarding houses, workplace canteens, bars and pubs can reopen, cinemas can reopen, museums and galleries can reopen, and a couple of other kind of what you would consider to be public areas. However, on the same list of areas of places that can't reopen on the 4th of July and awaiting further news are things like nightclubs, bowling alleys, tattoo parlors, swimming pools, water parks, and conference centers. Now, just that one word, I think, Neil, you and I both agree, is a little generic.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, isn't it? It's a bit vague. I must admit, I haven't been watching, and I'm sure they didn't go into detail when they were announcing it in the House of Parliament. But if anyone can shed any light on that in the group, whether there's been any more guidance given. But I'm just happy that model villages are open. I mean,
you only said to me last week, I can't wait to go back to model villages.
Can't wait. Just what I needed. Forget conference centres. Model villages is where it's at.
But the thing is that while... Go on.
Apologies to any model village people on the group. Sorry. Go on.
You just don't know. You just don't know, do you? I think the point is that it's really great news for an awful lot of people in this industry, hotels particularly, bed and breakfast, holiday homes, campsites, caravan parks, boarding houses. There's some really good news here. The interesting one, I think, for all of us is the cinemas, because cinemas are allowed to reopen as cinemas, but does that mean they're allowed to reopen as event spaces? Again, there's some big questions that I've no doubt the likes of View and Cineworld and some of the other the big chains will be looking to answer.
Yes, lots going on. So I guess it's such breaking news that people haven't had the chance to disseminate it down yet. But anyway, good news for the industry. At least we're on the first steps to getting moving again. So,
and it's really nice to be at the point where we could. I kind of wish I'd had a breaking news ticker along the bottom of the screen, a bit like BBC News, because we could be highlighting this.
Don't lift the curtain. It's all carefully planned. We're such pros. We just know what's going to happen. You know.
But obviously, we timed this show from the outset to coincide with when Boris was going to make the new announcement that hospitality.
Boris actually checked. He actually checked with me what time we were going live.
He messaged you. Is that since you're meeting the lady from Facebook?
Oh well, I don't like to drop names, but me and Nicola. Anyway, listen. On with the show. I am delighted to say we are joined by Mia, the fabulous Mia Butler from Pistachio View, also an associate trainer of Paje Consultancy and Training and all the rest of it, with the fabulous Mandy Jennings and the team. Mia's going to be giving us an insight into why video is a must-have sales tool. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen any of the things that Mia does, but it's fantastic. She sent me one through yesterday. I absolutely loved the vibe and the spirit of it. So watch this space. This is going to be really, really interesting, and hopefully open up your eyes to a different way of, doing business. Do you agree, Dom?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say too much because obviously video is a subject close to my heart, and I've met Mia a couple of times at various events. I think the first time being the meeting show, and I see the type of stuff that Mia puts out over social media, and I know what she's doing in the background a little bit as well. So this is a good one. This is a good one to cover.
Fab. So as usual, we are live on, what are we live on, Dom? YouTube?
We are live on YouTube. I will put it up there now. It's really worth following Neil's YouTube channel, which is at the Delegate Wranglers on YouTube. We are also live on Periscope, on Twitter via Periscope. We're also live on my LinkedIn Live profile, and it would be very nice if you could do us the favor of connecting with both myself at Decompagnoni and Neil at Neil-Thompson-event-manager. If you find
There we go.
if you find both of us on LinkedIn, if you find both of us on LinkedIn, it would be very lovely to connect with you. But that's where we're live, and then we put all of these videos out again later, and you can find us.
Cool. And then just to let you guys know about a couple of things, we still got the free event calendar listings. So if you've got an event coming up in any time in 2020, at the end of June, until the end of June, you can list it with us for free, and they'll get promoted on the group. Really good offer. And you can also list yourself as a supplier or a freelancer. So that's a shameless plugs over. Make sure you get over to our website and have a look, guys.
Absolutely. Should we do some hellos?
Shall we do some hellos? Yes.
We've got some hellos already coming in. So good afternoon to Elaine Ranahan-Clark. Good afternoon. Nikki Buse. Janice Finity. Nikki, you said hi, Neil and Ken. I don't know who Ken is. I'm John.
Ken's watching, so
maybe it's that Ken. Oh, maybe she was saying hello to someone, not me. Janice Finity, Anika, good afternoon again. Nice to see you. Mandy Jennings, Tom Morley, good afternoon. Tom, how are you? Cassie Kendrew, Craig McGee, afternoon, Craig. Hope you're well up there. Julie France, Mandy Jennings, Nikki again, saying fab news. Craig says also good afternoon. Events are coming back. Yay, soon. Felicity, Verity. Paul Butterworth, good afternoon, Paul. I hope you're well down there towards towards Wales. Jude, good day. Mandeep, good afternoon to you. Jude, have you been running again, Dom? Yes, she's referring to the colour of me. This is an hour and 20 minutes after stopping, and I'm still this colour. Yes, I have. Johanna, hi from Vienna. Probably the most glamorous place we've got a post from so far.
Oh, I don't know though. Roger Bradley's watching from his sun lounger.
Yeah, well, where is that sun lounger, Roger? If you're in Burnley, that's a little bit different to Vienna. Julie France, Matt Daniel Baker, and Roger again. Good afternoon to you and to everyone else that's watching that hasn't put a comment in here. Very nice of you to join us. We will also do some hellos to anyone that's watching on LinkedIn, but I'll go find those in a minute and we'll do those separately.
Brilliant. Thanks for doing that, Ken. Anyway, on with the show. Well, I'd like to introduce the fantastic Mia. I've just caught a mid laugh in there, so it seems a really good time to bring her in. Hey Mia, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. This is comedy today. I've been sitting here chuckling at the pair of you.
Oh, well, you're such pros, you see, you know.
Absolutely.
We hate each other. We hate each other in real life.
Don't speak from week to week.
I get the vibe. The vibe is intense. It's pretty full on.
So Mia, how are you anyway? You all right? How are you coping with?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited. So, you know, I was tuned in to Boris, ready for this big moment. So, you know, I'm excited by that. And also there was a good conversation after his announcement as well from other ministers saying, are you encouraging people to, you know, get down the pub and go back out and spend money to help the economy? And Boris gave that a big 1 meter plus nod. So, you know, that this is what we want, isn't it? We want people to just get back out in our industry and start spending money.
Yeah, absolutely. How's it been made for you during lockdown and stuff? You managed to get out and about and stuff as well, or?
Yeah, not so much. It's been pretty intense, and I'm pretty sure there's lots of people in the same shoes as me. So I've been busy, thankfully. I've been working, and suddenly video's gone a bit exponential. So I've been busier than I had been, you know, even at the start of the year. So I'm quite fortunate in that.
Yeah.
But also, you know, it's a pretty intense time. I've got 2 young children. I'm trying to homeschool as well as run a business. So it is tough, and you know, I'm lucky that this is my business and I can kind of make the rules up, but I can't imagine how tough it must be if you are an employee trying to manage homeschooling and all those other kind of things.
It must be really tough. So
Yeah.
without any further ado, do you want to give us a bit of background about yourself, Mia, how you got into doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the hospitality hotel industry for, gosh, some 25 plus years now. Sales has always been my DNA and passion across the industry, and I've been lucky to work for a hotel booking agency, done some team building, predominantly spent most of my time on property base at director of sales level. So the industry is very much my DNA. Took some time with the middle ground as well, with the Meeting Industry Association, and I think really that time with the MIA was pretty pinnacle for me, really, to get that insight from both sides of the camp in a very neutral way. Spurred me on to take the leap and do this, really. So yeah, here we are, some sort of 18 months later now, and Pistachio View is still a baby, but it's growing. And I'm still busy, engaged with the industry as well, coaching, consulting. So yeah, lots going on.
Fantastic. So I was just thinking then about Mia from the MIA. Must have been so confusing.
It was made for me. It was perfect.
Makes for a very easy email address, though, right?
It was just ridiculous.
Mia.
Hi, I'm Mia from Mia. It worked well for every presentation. Talk about an opening line. It certainly got us in a laugh at the start. It was ridiculous.
I wonder, did you do any conferences at Mia Golf Club as well? Mia from Mia at Mia. Sorry, okay. I'll stop these puns.
This is just mocking me now. I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Sorry.
Mia, I kind of want to go.
It's not on, is it, Ken? It's not on, Ken.
Do you know what? That's not going to disappear now.
Oh, I'm so going to change your name on the group to Ken. Anyway, Mia, yeah, so tell us a bit about Pistachio and, how you started, what it's been like since you started, and just exactly what you guys do, because it's really fascinating, and I think I can't wait for you to share with the guys what you do and stuff.
Oh, thank you. Well, Pistachio View simply is a platform that allows people to create and send personalized video messages. So it's about us getting these nice little video messages into our email. And bizarrely, this all came about because my mechanic sent me a video from under my car. And this was really like the inspiration for it, quite some years ago now. And I was just absolutely starstruck by Steve, the mechanic under my car, showing me how bad my brakes were. And I was like, wow, if a mechanic can get under my car and make and share a video with me, and I'm working in the hospitality industry on the sales front line, I kind of need to be doing more.
Yeah.
So I tried to DIY it. And I'm from a non-techie space and place. I'm not that kind of technical person, and I just found it too faffy and too much messing around, and it was robbing me of my selling time.
You could attach like a video to a
email. And it just got complicated. I'd make a video on my phone, and then I couldn't upload it, and then it was too big a file to send, and then I was directing somebody to another place or another channel, so I lost my corporate identity along the way, and I just couldn't find the right fit. So in essence, I built this to fix my own problem. And I really wanted to champion it at my industry that I've been passionate about, because we are like the most personable industry ever. So if anybody should be popping up on a video message in a sort of ta-da moment, it's us. We're super friendly and really personable. So that's my aspiration, that people use it as a sales tool.
A fun fact here, the system that your mechanic was using to film under your car to send you the link, I actually helped design and build when I worked in web and software development. There's only 2 platforms in the country, and we had the bigger one too.
Really? That's amazing.
And you know what? And I approached them at the time when I got this video message and said, I want this. Can I have this? And they're so wrapped up with automotive that it wasn't, right for them to come out into another sector. And they've wrapped up automotive like a treat. So it's brilliant.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this later. I want to see if we have the same contacts, because I'm certain.
So I just wondered if maybe it's worth asking the group, has anybody seen any of the, I mean, what's a good point to have we got you got any slides to show us what you do, Mia? I know you said you didn't want to promote it massively,
Yeah,
but
no, I think what we'll do today is we'll really focus on trying to give people some reasons about why you might want to embrace video and use it as part of your sales cadence, your sales outreach, whatever word you want to use.
yeah.
And we'll also do a couple of practical tips. So I will talk about video email, but there are some, there's a couple of really simple ways of how you can start prospecting and using sales, video for sales. So I'm going to try and be helpful today as opposed to shameless selling.
Okay, perfect. So what's the best way to jump into that? Have you got some slides to show now?
Yeah, sure. Let's go all pink. Where is?
You are up and running with your slides, Mia.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so here's the thing. So right now we're very much in this digital world, aren't we? And we're all being forced a lot of information. Like, I don't think we've ever been more glued to our mobile devices than we are right now. So there is a lot of screen time going on, and people are, really engaged with their screens. But actually, what that means for us is that we've got a bit of a short attention span, and I am so this person. I have a really bad attention span, and that's probably because I've got less time. But also, when I'm doing business with people, I actually want answers really quickly. And the way that I want answers is kind of at my convenience. So I don't work a 9-to-5 lifestyle. So convenience for me is being able to easily consume something at 9 o'clock at night or at 6 a.m. in the morning. So convenience is really important. And also, we always have to think about our buyers, and they're used to this lifestyle where they're watching video because it's easier for them. I mean, let's be honest, when we want to learn something, we're not going through an encyclopedia anymore. We're going straight to YouTube because we want to be shown our answers and, want to see it clearly. So that's why the opportunity for video is really huge right now, because of the convenience and the ease.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go in with a fact to back that up. And also, this is like a rhetorical question I'm going to push out to everybody. So we are speculating now that by 2021, over 80% of content consumed online will be video. So
Wow.
I want people to think about that in terms of their whole business model, and I really think about what percentage of your messaging is video, because I'm really guilty of this. It's not big enough for me yet, and I'm a huge advocate of video, but most of us still have, if I pushed a number on it, 5, 10, 15% only attributed to video in our whole sort of like company portfolio. And we need to alter that, because, if we don't show it, then it kind of doesn't exist in a way anymore. So that's the mindset that I want everybody to get into today, to start thinking for the future, because whilst video is now, it's also the future.
Well, this is exactly what we were talking about just before we came on air as well, isn't it? It's our own uses of video, and I think you and I particularly are guilty of it in some ways, of advocating the use of video but not using it enough ourselves. And I think, well, the question that I posed to you was, people will know you, a lot of people in the group already know who you are anyway, and will have seen the very long kind of text-based post that you put out on LinkedIn. And I guess the question to you is why you opt to go text as opposed to video.
Yeah, no, but there's two answers to this. So firstly, I actually was doing quite a lot of video, and then I started to get sort of renowned for being this video expert. So everybody was coming to me and asking me video questions, which is great. I've always got an idea about video as a whole, but when you're asking me what lighting ring you should buy, and whether you should have a Rode mic over a Yeti, I was kind of getting a little bit disinterested, because actually for me, where video works for me in my business, and what I'm trying to help encourage others to do, is that it works as a B2B selling tool. So for me, it's just another tool in my tool belt.
And I think but that's the difference, isn't it? You're using video as a tool as opposed to being video production, and that's where we sit side by side. You're using it
Exactly.
to communicate your message when you're selling to people, or you're enabling that for other people. Whereas we are the producers and are probably better placed to answer those questions about which lighting ring or which microphone do we use.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, sales has got tough, hasn't it? You know, as a salesperson, we're living in this really fast world, as you know, I've already mentioned. So you've got to keep up with the time. Up with the time, then time just adjusts you. So, you know, as people now, we're having to add more and more skills into our portfolio. So I'm not saying video is a one size fits all, but it is something else that we have to have skills and skill set for to be able to use when the time is right. So I do a lot of text-based posts on LinkedIn. And the reason I do those is because I know my audience, and actually for my audience, that's right for them. And whatever you're doing, it's always about knowing your audience. So that's why text is important for me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you've just ruined one of my questions there, Mia. I was going to ask you what Rode mic to use, but never mind. Scratch it off.
I'd go for a Yeti. Just go for a Yeti.
Okay. Sorry, go on. I interrupted.
No, that's absolutely fine. So let's be really specific then about what is video selling, because I think that can confuse people. Because again, when we say video, there is this immediate reaction that we perceive video, that we have to put that post on LinkedIn and start, you know, doing these headshots to camera, going, you know, hi, this is my world, and that's not all it is. So the definition of video selling is when salespeople use pre-recorded and also live video elements to engage with your prospects and also your customers at any point during the sales process. And let's be really clear, you can plug video in at any point during the sales process. And normally at the times when you need to give it the most leverage. So it can be video calls and conferences. Well, huge tick on that one. We've nailed that, haven't we, in the last 10 weeks? You know, we're all Zoom and Teams champions. Pre-recorded email messages, which is, you know, kind of what Pistachio View is all about. Screen sharing, which is just a game changer at proposal stage. And then the social media and marketing videos that you know, are these one-to-all, the kind of evergreen messages as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So here to support that, 95% of a message is absorbed when you watch it, and only 10% when we write it, which is just huge, isn't it? And that just shows how busy our brains are. And one thing as well that is also really important to understand with our customers now is that scroll. So most people are actually viewing their emails on a mobile phone. So you know what that looks like when we're watching our mobile phone. You know, if you go past 10 lines, I'm done. I'm out of here. You know, I'm literally got this terrible attention span. So we've just got to think about how we can get our messages really bang on for the customers that we're sharing them with.
Okay.
So should we go straight into a top tip of how you can get started? Should we do that?
Perfect. Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. Really good. Good point.
So let's be practical. So everybody, like I say, wants to dive in and do video. So one of the easiest ways to get started is LinkedIn. Now, huge love for LinkedIn, because, you know, in a sales environment, it is definitely the place to be. And as a platform, it's just awesome right now. You know, it's really exciting. All of our customers are on there, you know, whether you know they're engaged with you or not. The business community is great. So if you're looking to prospect, and right now, even though business is difficult, we should still be building our pipeline. So I'm always going to say prospect hard. But LinkedIn is a cool place to start using video. And you can do that through your mobile phone app. So if you've not found this screenshot will show you where you can find that. And there's also, you know, some other cool things in there that you might not have played with. I love a GIF. I can't resist a GIF. I will send GIFs till the cows come home. But also voice notes as well. So because, you know, let's think, we're auditory kind of people. Body language is important. Seeing facial gestures, tone, all of that stuff matters. So, you know, sending messages, video messages through LinkedIn really helps.
Yeah.
And it's easy as well. You know, I'm kind of saying, you know, a minute long, nice smiley face to camera, and connect. You know,
Well,
that's
inspired
it.
by this, Mia. Inspired by me having a look at your slides yesterday. I actually did one on
I know.
on LinkedIn. Went outside and did one, and yeah, it's really easy. You can put stickers on it, you can do whatever you want. So really, it was straightforward. It's the first time I've ever done it on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was easy.
it is
Recommend
easy.
it.
It is. And also, you know, when this video message pops up, you know, it's kind of like WhatsApp, the messenger on LinkedIn, really. And it just looks a bit more different. You know, word of warning, I will jump in and put this in, you know, it's kind of like the start of the movie Hitch. Is, you know, we don't just like jump on the date as soon as we start talking to them. You know, we've got to build a relationship first. So, you know, no cringy videos going, oh my God, I'd so love to work with you. You've still got to build a bond first. But, you know, it certainly is a differentiator right now. So it's not gimmicky. People think it's gimmicky, and it's not. It is a differentiator.
I think the thing you can do with the video as well, here, is you can get your tone of voice right, can't you? You know, in terms of like with an email message, you can just put it in text and it can read one thing, but with the right tone of voice on a video, it's, you know, you can get across what you're trying to do.
You can.
We've all been guilty of writing something that you then later realize that you perhaps could have worded it differently, so it didn't come across how it might have done to somebody. We've all done that at some stage. You can completely avoid that situation with video, which is why one of the reasons why I love it.
Me too. It's just authentic and real. And I kind of like the unpolishedness of the one-to-one video. So I don't need to be Instagram perfect. You know, there's no dog ears or filters. It's just me. But, you know, that we take a lot. You know, I think it's like 38% is about our voice and tone. So, you know,
Wow,
I'm sure you can feel my enthusiasm right now.
Oh, don't know about you, but Mia's just frozen on me, Dom.
Oh, really? No, it's just
Am
your
I
end.
okay?
She's fine.
Okay, bye.
Oh, thanks. So 30, and then 55% is about the body language. So, you know, I'm terrible for hands. You know, I use hands a lot, but you know, the psychology is that shows I'm not hiding anything. You know, I'm really keen and enthusiastic. So yeah, I think there's a lot that can be seen rather than, you know, written in an email.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah.
Agreed.
So on this slide, I want to show you how easy it is, because part of the thing that people stumble on with video is overthinking it. And so I've just put like 2 really simple messages that you can copy and use about, you know, the type of message that you just send to somebody. Hey, I want to use Ken now. Hey, Ken, thanks for connecting. Love what you're doing at your company, and I enjoy reading your posts. Glad we're now networking. And that's it. You know, it's as simple as that. Yeah. And you and Ken are now BFFs. Let's hope. Sorry, Dom.
I'm sorry for Ken in the group. Ken, who's watching. Stolen your name, Ken. Sorry about that one.
And I've just chucked some ideas on the side there as well. Chucked, a very elegant word, but I've popped some ideas on the side there. You know, I'd like to connect. Thanks for connecting with me. I'd love to get in touch with you. This article is interesting because. So there's loads of ways that we can be using LinkedIn Messenger to full effect to engage with our customers, especially right now, because we don't know if people are in the office, people are on furlough, people are at home, people are working differently. So I'm getting more answers on LinkedIn messages at the moment than I am in any of my emails. So that's worth knowing.
So you're saying, Mia, that this is when you know, somebody connects with you, or you want to connect with somebody, you're sending them this, or in reply to them connecting with you, just as a way of being different and breaking the ice and being a bit more memorable and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, I do. And you know, to go back to what I said before, I do it at the right time. I never think you should gush over people and, you know, just drop a sales bomb on them. You know, it has to be when the relationship is right. But, you know, if I want to stand out and get heard, noticed, or, you know, really spark a conversation, then yeah, I just get on the video and just say, you know, I'm so glad we're connected because I think we can do this, that, and the other because we've got this in common. And, you know, if you're interested in finding more, then just come back to me. Very open, very cash.
Mandy Jennings, who is a name that I know you'll know, Mia, received a quick thank you.
She's my leader.
Received a quick thank you video from Joe Neville yesterday at Edgbaston Park and was really delighted. So personal and meant so much. It does make a huge difference.
Yeah, it does. Do you know, I've got to give Jo credit actually, because she's like the A+ student. So at the moment, so you know, she's taken on video selling within her team. But what she's done really well is that she's just gone for it and adopted it, because it's a new habit. You know, what we're saying to people is, okay, add something else into your already crazy busy schedule, but you've got to adopt the habit. And Jo really committed to that. So I'm docking my digital cap at her, because she, you know, made a point to commit to a number of videos a day, a week, and that makes a huge difference. So good habit adoption.
Perfect.
We incorporate video as part of our proposals. We have a third-party proposal system, and we incorporate videos, whether that's a show reel or a bit of information about the company. But we also, when we can, and it doesn't always happen, but when we can, we also include a personal introduction video that we embed into the first page. And it makes such a massive difference if the first thing that someone sees is a video and it's very personal to them. And it worked really nicely. So I'm a huge advocate for this.
Yeah, you know what? Can I just jump in there, Mia, as well? I just say, you know, on when we have the supplier hour. Now, I'm going to make Dom blush here, but Dom quite often, when he doesn't use supplier hour too often, but when he does, it's usually in the form of a video of him talking to camera, and they go down really well. And I find that a lot of people who do them, they come across really so well. If you're talking about, if you've got some good, decent content to talk about, and you get it just the right length and everything, your clock doesn't fall down behind you, Dom. That did happen. It can be, you know, really effective, and lots of people, you know, take note of it. So I totally agree.
It takes, if you're not used to it though, and Mia, we've spoken about this in the past as well. If you're not used to doing it, it takes a bit of a leap of faith. And we used the example before we came on air of you, Neil, like doing this show. You and I spoke about doing this last year, I think, was the first time we started talking about it. And it absolutely wasn't your thing. And it's taken being stuck at home with literally nothing else to do to get you to come online.
Speak for yourself.
No, but equally, it's just a comfort factor. And once you understand how it works, and actually you're just looking at a camera that you're going to look at anyway, so why not? It does have a huge impact. It has a huge impact on business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, you know, Dom, you must remember we talked about, you know, back at the start of my journey is probably when we first had a conversation on the phone. And the big challenge I had at that point in time was that emotional resistance for people wanting to. So the most common thing I hear over price and anything else is my team don't want to do it. They don't even like being on camera. It's really uncomfortable. Yeah, they don't want to do it. And I kind of went on this journey, and like for the first sort of part of the business, I was really sympathetic about this. And, you know, I was like, I get it. You know, I don't like myself on camera either. I've got, you know, chubby cheeks, and I really wish I had American teeth. You know, don't like about myself, but realize was actually none of that stuff matters to the end person. You know, not, you know, they might think I've got chubby cheeks, but they're not coming back and going, okay, I'm never doing business with her because of her cheeks. You know, it is just the fact that they feel different because I've done that. So I've kind of petered off that emotional stuff now, and I'm like, you know, come on, you've got to, if you want different, you have to do different. You can't keep doing the same stuff because it's comfortable to you. That isn't what our buyers are dictating that they want and need right now. Harsh.
I have a client who I won't mention because it wouldn't be fair, but I have a client that we do quite a lot of work with. And we started working with them probably around the beginning of 2019, somewhere around there. And we were filming a series of one-to-one interviews. And those one-to-one interviews were conducted by the chief exec of this business. He didn't do it for marketing. He didn't do it for any other reason than it was his idea, and he wanted to push himself out of his comfort zone to force himself into a position where he felt massively uncomfortable, but was being filmed in that process, just because he recognized that as the leader of a business that's growing quite rapidly, he needed to get out there more. He needed to put his face out there more. And I have a huge amount of respect for him. And you could see, if you go back and watch the videos, you can see the evolvement of him as a person on camera running these interviews and finding his feet and finding his voice. And it's fascinating to see, but it just takes a huge leap of faith in yourself, I think, as much as it does anything.
Yeah, it does. And isn't that great though in its own right, that if you take on this challenge and do something extra different, then actually you as a person starts evolving. I know I have, to make videos was, really uncomfortable for me. It wasn't my normal thing. I was much used to, picking up the phone or having a pleasant cup of coffee with somebody. But, if we go on a journey and we get better in our jobs and we close more deals faster because we've generated trust a lot sooner, then it takes some stress off us. So there's just lots of advantages that go with it on personal development, and also how it can, profit the business as well.
There are. I'm going to jump in because Paul's asked a really interesting question. I don't know the answer to it, and I don't want to ruin your slide. Is there a better sales conversion rate written versus video?
Oh, good question.
It is a good question. Well, do you know, you can get up to a 4 times better open rate if you include video. And one of the tracks that I track, one of the stats I track quite avidly in the Pistachio View platform is actually how long it takes people to watch a video. And our average time at the moment is just under 4 hours, and that's to view, respond, and interact with us. Now a lot more happen a lot sooner than that. The instant result is just incredible. I love it that you get such an instant result back from like sending a video message as opposed to just a plain text message. And it goes back to exactly what I said, and just bombarded with info. Video, get me to the point quick. That's what I want. Give me the answer, and then I can move on to the next step.
Is there a specific length of time, or for the actual message to be, Mia? Is there some definite? I mean, you may be coming to this, but is there some definite yeses and some definite nos?
Yeah, no, we can jump around. It's no problem at all. And I have. I've actually made a decision with our platform, and there's lots of other platforms out there that are similar to us that you can use video. So there's loads of ways that you can go about it. But with Pistachio View, we've capped it at 90 seconds. And I am denied on this, and I was like, oh no, I'm being mean. I shouldn't force people into this box. But it's just based on the fact that actually, by 40 to 60 seconds, people's attention span is already going. Yeah, so whilst this was, getting people into a new habit, I just wanted to get people getting that open body of, video right and going straight into a call to action without being waffly and boring. Sorry. Yeah. Can't be waffly and boring.
No, totally agree. I think anything that's too long, you're just switching off after a bit. I think another good advantage of them as well is, that everyone's been done personal for that person. They've actually done it themselves. They've not just done a, BCC and send out to our, 10,000 people.
Yeah, and that really stimulates something as well for the listener, that they feel very obliged to answer, which is incredibly powerful. I've never written an email where somebody feels obliged to answer, but because they see you've gone to this effort of creating this personal message for them, then this sense of obligation is, manifests in them, and they feel this immediate need to reply to you and say, thank you, no thanks, whatever the reply might be, but you always get a reply.
Yeah. I'm going to pose a question to the group right now, because we've got 40 odd people watching in Facebook. We've got another few on LinkedIn, and there'll be some people on YouTube as well. Let us know if you're using video as part of your sales process, not as part of your marketing, because you should be doing that. Absolutely. Let us know if you're using video as part of your sales process and how you're using it. Stick your comments wherever you're watching, and we'll see if we can come to
and by video we mean personalized video, rather than showing a video that you've made of a drone or whatever. Exactly. Unless you've got a drone following you around. I mean, that might be interesting. That's the next level for you, that, Mia, I think.
I've literally put that on my wish list right now.
Pistachio View Plus Pro. Yeah, there you go. New price point.
Awesome.
Anyway, we've interrupted Mia's slides for long enough. We'll let you get back, Mia.
No, that's all right. I'm much more comfortable with a natural conversation, so it's fine. But hey, let's get on to emails actually, because that's already come up. So let's talk about the facts. So 120 emails a day. I'm sure I get more than that. It feels like more than that. But you know, in the buyer community, this is why we need to put the effort in. And it just grabs people's attention, and that's what we want. And I think the important thing as well is it's just nice to put a face to the name, isn't it? You know, not only is it interesting and different, it's just nice to put a face to the name, and that's why we all love social media. So this is the same premise, really. It's how we can get to know people a lot quicker. So what does it look like? If you've never seen a video message pop up in your email, this is kind of what it looks like. So you get a little thumbnail of, you know, a little smiley face at you, and it's a headshot, or it could be out and about in the venue, you know, with your showing and telling as well as, you know, describing something. But what it's all packed with is lots of good eye contact, you know, positive body language, lots of smiles. Be really clear on why you're reaching out to somebody. You know, there's got to be this value bundle in the middle. And then also around the email, very little text, because the video does the talking for you. And that's the good thing. So you write these very short emails around it and use the video to get the across. That's really useful.
And I think, you know, I can vouch for somebody who got one of these from you yesterday, and it's fab. You know, you just click on the thumbnail, it opens up straight away. It's nice and easy, really clear. And I think what you said, a really good point that you said earlier here, was that you get across the human element. You know, you might say something, or you might, but you can get your personality across of being human, you know.
Yeah, and you know, never has trust been more important than it is right now. Everybody wants to feel reassured, they want to feel safe, and particularly in the decisions that you're going to be making in going out and putting your staff, colleagues into venues, or, you know, on live events or whatever it might be, they are going to want to feel reassured. So I'm seeing so many great public service messages at the moment, but sometimes you're going to need to push in there with the TLC, and you know, and if you articulate to somebody, I've got this and you're going to be okay, then it makes a huge difference. So that human connection has suddenly, you know, magnified and come really up the barometer of important. Yeah, trust is key.
Because we haven't got it, it's really important. So you got some comments there, Dom, just so.
Yeah, there's a couple of comments just coming in. There's a really, really good one here, because I'll explain why I think this is great in a minute. So Rob Boren Fish says he's not using video yet, but he does agree it's powerful. I get them from BMW since he bought his last car every 6 months or so, just to check in on how we're getting on. It's a nice touch, and I agree. I open far more than a plain email.
Great.
So BMW is sending these not just in the lead up to buying a car, but they're continuing to do it every 6 months afterwards. And why I love that as an example is because it demonstrates that the sales process doesn't end when you make a single sale. If you want to work with a client on an ongoing basis, keep them engaged. So the very fact that they're doing that, I love that as an example. And I will probably find a way to build that into things that we do, because it's a really good demonstration as to how you can keep your clients or your customers engaged. Craig McGee has also commented, all our sales meetings have been video recently, have been video recently, obviously. As part of our sales plan, our proposals will go with an explanation video. This is due to the fact that one person in the organization will be our point of contact. Then we'll need to talk to their team. If we put the video over, it means we're proposing to the whole team instead of just the point of contact. That's another really good example and another really good point, which again, I hadn't considered. And Paul said, we've been working on the idea of video sales, and this has convinced me it's a great way to interact with prospects and clients. So if you convert one person, it's done the job, right?
Job done,
Thanks, Paul.
Go on, Mia, sorry.
No, and you know what? And I think that's you know, the key thing. It's about how often you can plug this in. You can plug it in at the time where you need it most. And care messages right now are really important. So just, you know, staying connected with customers whilst you're not open. you know, is a great use of video to say, you know, I'm still here, and I care lots about you.
Yeah.
So it really is, and I think there's a lot to learn from the way the automotive sector has embraced this. I certainly crush on the way that they've done it. You know, they're literally up there in my crush at the moment, because where they came from this sort of like dodgy car salesman place. You know, we had this perception of the car industry that, you know, it was somebody in a coat, and, you know, you got talked at instead of being listened to, and, you know, you know, taking your car in as a female was just like the worst thing you could ever do. You had to find any old man to take your car in. It was just like, it got this huge bad reputation, unfounded, but this hugely poor reputation. And they needed to establish trust and come from a place of credibility and experience, and they've done all of that, and they've used this as their tool to do it. So I think it's really interesting, but that's me being geeky. I'll move on.
One little example of that, Mia, and I've mentioned this on the show before, but there's a hotel that I follow on Instagram, and when lockdown first started happening, what they were doing, they were using Instagram to send messages to brides, to couples whose weddings had been cancelled, and they were like going, they were outside literally saying, "Oh, this is where you would have had your reception. I'm so sorry. Can't wait to welcome you back. It's amazing. You know, we're really sorry. We love you guys." And yeah, and it was so touching and really nicely done that it was so powerful. It was brilliant. What an idea.
Oh, is Mia frozen?
Mia's frozen. It was that good an idea. She frozen her.
Am I?
Oh, she's
Yeah.
back.
There we go. She's
Am I
back.
back?
Did you actually hear
You're
that,
back.
Mia?
Yeah, I did. I heard every word of it, and you know, I think, God, this is like, for the wedding market, it's so right, you know, because that is the most emotional purchase you're probably ever going to make. One of the big factors they buy on is not just the venue, the location, but it's the wedding planner themselves. It's that human that's going to look after you, and you do literally swap hearts and, you know, give each other loads of love, because it's a very emotional time. So yeah, like, isn't it nice to see emotion? And I think Furlough's done this to us, you know, that we've seen. Somebody put this on one of my posts today, actually. We've seen the whole person as opposed to just the work person, and that's really good. If we get to see a vulnerable side of people, then that's okay. That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Cool.
So on this next slide, actually, it talks about some of those examples, and you know, I've done this in kind of my venue head here, but, you know, plug it in for a new inquiry, or here's your wedding planner. Definitely at proposal stage. I think I said that at the start. It's a game changer at proposal, because that's where you focus on the detail, and particularly because it's often a collaborative conversation at proposal. But also say thank you to people. It's the nicest way to just say thank you for your business.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
Bit more practical here. There, we spoke about earlier about being uncomfortable. You know, what should we say? What should we do? And that's kind of why I put a little script on for the LinkedIn bit. So people often say to me, "Should I sit and write a script?" No, you don't need to. Don't write a script. What scripts do, they make us uncomfortable, and we fluff our words, and we get really nervous. So, you know, whatever you're doing as a message, just be like normal. Scripts make us really bad. You know, I'm no good at scripts. But always just grab attention and get into the value. And yeah, we've kind of covered everything else, but the most important thing I'll always say to people is just don't overthink it. You know, you manage to sit and have a cup of coffee with somebody and be quite normal. You don't write a script for that moment. So this is the same scenario. It just needs to be you. You is good.
You is good. Yeah.
You is good. Okay, so do you want to know what you need to spend your money on?
Is that a Yeti?
Tools. Tools for the job. Yeah, no Yeti here. So everybody says, what do I need to buy? What do I need to do? Well, the good news is you've got the tool in your back pocket. So we've all got awesome phones these days, well, most of us have anyway. And that's all you need to get started. Just use your smartphone. They have great cameras on, great video options on there. That's all you need to get started. If you're out and about and want to do a bit more, I love like a gorilla tripod. They're bendy and you can fix them to trees and things like that. I love those. I also like a Bluetooth remote because I don't like that sort of awkward bit at the end where you switch on and off. And if I'm in venues, tragically, I love a selfie stick or something that gives me like a really wide view of where I am, so I can chuck in a nice 360 spin. Come on, you've got to do a spin in the middle of like the NEC or something, haven't you? What's not to love?
Absolutely.
So the good news is you don't need to spend loads of money.
Yeah.
And so let's wrap it up. And, you know, I just kind of want to put everything into some sort of final words about, you know, why I think that videos must have tool for your sales toolkit now. And because it isn't about the video, it's about the customers and how they feel. And what I think it does when you send a video is for our customers, they've seen us even though they haven't met. The amount of people that, you know, would come up to me after they've seen me on LinkedIn or something is kind of just strange but great in its own right. They feel like they know us because they've heard us, even though we haven't spoken, we haven't picked up the phone yet, but they feel like they've heard us, and we get to know each other a lot sooner. So those are sort of my 3 final points about, you know, why you should think about it and give it a go.
I've never thought about that. It's a really good point, isn't it? People get to know you, you know, as a person even more than just in, you know, being a decent, you know, business person or whatever in an email.
Yeah, I wish I'd could big it up to think that I've come up with some sort of, you know, mega sassy tool, but it's just about using things differently. And ultimately, we're the tool. It's us, the salesperson, the human, you know, values and is passionate about our industry and our workplace. We're the tool, and it's just, you know, using video as a way to communicate how excited we are about doing business with you.
Paul just asked one more question. Mia, you can have a go at answering this, and if not, I can probably as well. Hi, me again. Is there a difference in response depending on the quality of the video, iPhone versus HD quality?
Well, most of the platforms that you use are all designed to share encrypted HD videos. So your phone will be the right tool for the job. So it actually happens in the technology itself. You don't need to, again, overthink this too much. But of course, you know, you kind of want to make sure you've got a quality video in front of you. You know, noise is important to consider. Light is important to consider. You know, having good audio so that people can hear your message. But the tech that's out there will make those decisions on HD for you. It's done. Tick.
What about the file size, Mia? Is it, you know, if you were to do, say, you know, a 90-second video, would that be a huge file size? Would it get through firewalls and things like that?
Yeah, well, and again, this is when you choose a platform provider to work with, you don't have to think about that because the data encryption is there. So the technology behind what we do wraps it, zips it, you know, and puts it in a little cloud-based bundle and shares it on your behalf. And most videos
so they're getting a link, aren't
they? Yeah,
I was going to say they get a link, they don't get the file.
Yeah, so it's not embedded into an email because that would cause us firewall. And you know, most launch onto like a white label web page, so ours are all branding up in, you know, whoever the customer is and their colours and things like that. So that's how they keep their professional identity. So no guarantees with firewalls, never is. But in terms of using the link as opposed to embedded, it works well.
Fantastic.
Paul, just going back to Paul's question, my answer to that question actually is I don't think you'd see any difference in response rate on the video based on whether you filmed it on a DSLR or one of your big cameras that I know you've got in your kit or an iPhone. But what does have a massive impact, it's the same rules that apply to live video production. People will forgive a poor video quality if the audio is spot on. and it will be exactly the same. It will be exactly the same mentality. As long as people can hear it, they won't mind if you're slightly pixelated. That said, it's always good to deliver high quality on both. And I know you're not going to have any issue getting a decent quality video. Nikki B says, thank you so much. She's looking for kit recommendations. Mia, Nikki wants to know, what microphone do you recommend?
Oh my God.
Yeti.
That's got to depend how you're recording it, because if you're plugged into a computer, that's going to be one thing. If you're doing it in your phone, you can get one of those ones
like what I've got
wearing, which are about, I don't know, 15, 20 quid on Amazon, was it?
Yeah, 15 quid. Just plugs into your headphone jack.
It's always good to mess around with the microphone when you're live, Neil. That sounds.
You're welcome. Just demoing, I'm a pro.
Those little lapel mics are great. Particularly if you're doing anything outside, or in I don't know, public area, you do need a microphone. iPhones and Androids are great, but you do need a microphone. So I would buy 2 extra things, go for a tripod and go for a microphone that just get an adapter for your phone. Yeah, they would be my only purchases, and that would cost you about, I don't know, 30 quid in total on Amazon. No big cost.
Nicola Hitchen just jumped in and says, came in halfway through, but really helpful. Thank you very much. Nicola, just so you know, the video will be here for you to watch again on Facebook later, but I will take the opportunity to plug the Delegate Wranglers Facebook page. It's going to go just underneath Mia at the YouTube channel at the Delegate Wranglers on YouTube, where all of the videos dating right back to the beginning, the 24th of March, I think was the first one, the beginning of our time. They're all on there, so it was a shameless plug for your channel, Neil.
Yeah, thank you. Well, also Mia as well. What we'll do is I'll speak to you after the show, and we'll put any relevant links and things on the wrap up afterwards, guys. We'll also put a link to this show so you can watch it on YouTube there as well. But Mia, you've been amazing. Thank you for opening my eyes to this, because I think it's amazing. I really, really love it. Not only to the video, send a video and a message, but using it for other tools, like as in LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever you want to do, just as something different, or in a proposal. I've learned loads of stuff there today. It's amazing. Thank you.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. I'm very starstruck being part of your great world. So thank you for having me.
Dom has that effect on people.
Fact.
Oh, thanks.
And by the way, speaking about microphones, Dom carries that big microphone there around with him everywhere he goes.
It's literally, it's always permanently just to my left-hand side. And in the situations where I can't attach it to my desk, I get one of my children to hold it just out of shot.
And he's not joking. Right. For me, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. It's been really interesting. I've learned a lot, actually, and I've taken a couple of tips away from the comments that have been posted here and from what you've talked about. I think it'd be really helpful to get the content that you've talked through, the slides, shared out to people. And I'm really, really fascinated to see how those that are watching it, Paul particularly, and Craig and others that have said this has been really useful, how you take this away and you start applying the use of video in your sales process. And remember, this isn't about video production. It's not about marketing. It's about using video as a sales tool. And if you've got any questions, then get in touch with me. You'll find her on Facebook. You'll find her on LinkedIn. Go have a chat.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mia.
Thanks for joining us, Mia.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We'll see you very soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, Mia. So, Dom.
Yes, sir.
What's coming up next? Have you got our coming up next slide?
Oh, better. Right, what do we got?
I love catching
No, come on. So next Tuesday, the 30th. Wow, it's moving. Next Tuesday, really good one. Go on, I'll let you take it.
We've got the fantastic Emma Cartmel, fresh from receiving a cocktail on the DW Ibiza Live social the other night. By the way, thank you to everyone who came. It was we had a brilliant night. It was a really, really good fun, and don't miss the next one, guys. You'll love it, honestly. It's just a really good laugh. And what we did was we surprised Emma because of all the hard work and all the effort and help she gives to everybody in the industry. We thought we'd surprise her with a cocktail package and made her do a live cocktail package, little knowing she was in the middle of a hen do and had had a few beverages.
And also then witnessed her down the lot.
She sent me a message to say it went downhill from then onwards, the after party. So anyway, we're gonna have her on the show, talking to her basically about, you know, bouncing back from the setbacks he's had this year, you know, and talking to her also about the show in Birmingham coming up in October and stuff like that. So really looking forward to that.
So that is next Tuesday at 1:30.
Next Tuesday, yeah. Then on the 7th of July, we've got an amazing show again. We've got Alison Courier from Paje Consultancy again. She works with them as a trainer. She's going to be giving us an Instagram masterclass, an Instagram for Business masterclass. So don't miss that one, because there'll be some really amazing tips on there. I mean, I listen to millions of podcasts about it. I learn things all the time. So yeah, definitely it's definitely worth plugging into that one, because it's certainly a tool that everybody's using at the moment. And tell us about the last show though, Dom, on the 14th.
Well, the last show, look, we've done a couple of these, not really knowing how the shows are going to go, and this is probably the best example of it. But the show on the 14th is the gamification of online events. Now, this is a subject that I've wanted to cover, just because I think it's a subject that's going to be sticking around for a while. And we're working on a couple of events in the background where gamification is being used to incentivize moving from different stages to breakout rooms, and enabling gaining points to win a prize at the end of the event.
Yeah.
And gamification has been around for a long time anyway. It's been in live events. We've seen it. You see it when you get points awarded for scanning your badge on certain numbers of things, certain number of stands at conferences. But I'm really interested to do this one. And we are looking for assistance from the community right now, because we want people to come on and talk about how they've used gamification. So if you are an expert in this field, or have a great level of knowledge in the gamification of online events, please
also
get in touch
offline
with
as well.
Also offline
as well, so we can compare them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not just to online events, but we're specifically looking at how gamifying online events is going, and people will be taking influence from events that they've done in a physical world. But if you've done that, we would really love to hear from you. So can you get in touch with Neil through the group, drop him an email, drop him a message, and let him know that you could come on and talk about how you've used gamification. And we're going to attempt to run that as a phone in as well, hoping that we get people calling in with ideas or suggestions and things that they're doing. So that's on the 14th of July at 1:30.
Fantastic. So is that us done for another week?
I think it's pretty much us done. We've had a few people that have stuck with us all the way through. For those that missed right at the beginning and that haven't seen the news yet, probably the big news of the day is that lockdown is to be relaxed even further. The 2-meter rule is being dropped to a 1+ rule, and there is a huge list of places that are allowed to reopen again. There are still some questions, but it is ultimately good news for the hospitality industry, particularly a lot of people in this group. But it still have to recognize that it's not going to be ideal for a lot of people until everything gets eased. But it's a good day, right, Neil?
Good day. Moving in the right direction, guys. So
absolutely.
But anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a really good show.
Thank you very much indeed. We will see you next Tuesday, 1:30, with Emma Cartmel from CHS. But until then, look out for the wrap up on Delegate Wranglers later on, when Neil's written it and he's pulled all of this information together. And we will see you next Tuesday. Then until then, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. See you soon, guys.